Our first guest tonight says the deep state withholding of its files on JFK's assassination, quote, stinks to high heaven. Joining us tonight, former strategist, deputy assistant to President Trump, highly respected American military and intelligence analyst, now the chief strategist for the Make America Great Again coalition, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Great to have you with us, Sebastian. Let's pick up with this. We learned from the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, tonight that the president has obviously made it very clear that he is unhappy with the response to both law, the Congress, and then, of course, his own orders.
Yes, absolutely. That was a very, very interesting interview. You can see AG Sessions has clearly been given his marching orders from the president. And it's yet one more instance, Lou, of when the president knows he has that gut instinct, that supernatural gut instinct that has served him so well, and he's pushing against the swamp, pushing against the bureaucracy, and he's fed up. Look, we're supposed to release these documents. What excuse can there be half a century later? None. And you heard the AG. He practically said, we're going to give it to you all. He's been told what to do.
Yeah, I did get the sense from the Attorney General, obviously more engaged than he has been, at least in any other interview, in terms of engaged within the Justice Department. But at the same time, I sense a lot of distance between him and the day-to-day work there, whether it be following the president's orders, whether it be pursuing the need to investigate the Clintons from the Department of Justice perspective, not only Congress.
When I want to get my blood pressure rising and pumping, I do read the comments on conservative websites with regards to articles about the Department of Justice, and there's a lot of unhappy people out there who voted for President Trump who want to see action. But let's be fair, as we've discussed already, if you look at federal government, there are three institutions that were corrupted beyond all measure under the Obama years. It was the IRS, it was the FBI, and it was the DOJ. And as a result, it's a Sisyphean task what the AG has been given, but right now it's clear that there's one man who's not happy, and it's his boss.
And a lot of other people are very unhappy that have been on the sidelines for a while. The Wall Street Journal editorial board now saying point blank, Mueller needs to step down because of his conflicts of interest with the FBI in particular, and his history with the FBI, including the, if you will, the so-called investigation of Uranium One.
Absolutely. There is no way that Robert Mueller can investigate anything related to Hillary Clinton, to James Comey, to Russian collusion, or to Uranium One, because he is actually in a position where he was involved in those events, either as the director meant to be investigating them, or he is friends with the people he is investigating, like James Comey. So Rod Rosenstein chose probably the worst possible candidate, unless he'd chosen Hillary Clinton herself to investigate Hillary Clinton.
And Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, obviously with conflicts of his own.
Yes.
And it is an extraordinary boomerang, a reversal of fortune, if you will, for the Democrats who had peddled the nonsense of the collusion narrative for months and months now. And suddenly they are the focus of the inquiry, and their actions and as well their inspiration of narratives that were harmful to this president, they're out in the clear, out in the open. What do you make of it?
Well, the president can now hold his head up high. He's done so for more than a year, but now we know the Trump-Russia collusion story is dead, and now we have multiple Russia conspiracy, racketeering, pay-for-play scandals that are out there that go back to Hillary Clinton herself when she was Secretary of State, go back to the Clinton Foundation, and go back to her husband as well. So here we have, and again, it's not opposition research. I mean, these are so many things. We have to separate Uranium One from the dodgy dossier. But opposition research is standard, Lou. That's modern politics. It's filthy, right? We know that. But this is Russian propaganda. Yeah. We now know that Christopher Steele was hired because of his Russian connections, and he inserted Russian propaganda into this file, which was then paid for by the Clintons, by the campaign, by the FBI, which is mind-boggling, and then briefed to the president and leaked so that Mueller could be hired. It's phantasmagorical.
It's beginning to look clear. That dossier was the foundation of at least some of the FISA wiretaps.
Yes.
That the FBI, with the knowledge of its fired director, James Comey, was prepared to reimburse GPS Fusion for some of the expense because it was using that file, that dossier, that bucket of sleaze and lies and deceit to attack the President of the United States. At the time the FBI, quote unquote, was investigating collusion with the Russians, it was the agency, and the Democratic Party was the political party colluding with the Russians. I mean, it's inconceivable that anyone could have anticipated that.
No, it beggars belief. The idea that falsified propaganda material from an adversary nation like the Russian Federation was used to secretly to denude U.S. citizens of their rights so that they could be surveilled by federal authorities, that is a banana republic. That's the Obama administration, and the legislators on the Hill. A new special prosecutor has to get to the bottom of all of this, no matter how high it goes, because this has to be a country of rule of law.
Jeff Sessions' Justice Department has to now put together grand juries and to ratchet up the investigative energy in that department. Sebastian, Gorka, as always, great to have you with us. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Lou.